So let's do this. Hello, it's something a bit unusual for me. I'm in my office, sat in front of the computer, and it's not my comfort zone. My comfort zone is out there taking pictures with you guys following me, but hey ho. The reason I'm here now in the office is that I wanted to go through a few things. One of them was why I haven't been vlogging over the last few months, and I will go through that later. But the big one is kit. People may have noticed that I've changed to a D850, and you'll be thinking, well, Jono, you said that your D850 or a D800 doesn't matter, so why have you gone over to a better spec camera? Well, there's one reason for that, and there's one reason for that only, which I'll go through later. But the reason I'm here is to talk about old kit. Now, 2 years ago, you may have watched me in my old office, which wasn't really an office, it was a conservatory in my old house, but now I'm in my new office in my new house. And at the time I had something called a Gitzo. Now most of you know what a Gitzo is. I hope you do anyway. And it's a tripod, Gitzo Mountaineer. And I had Manfrotto before I went over to a Gitzo Mountaineer, and in fact the Manfrotto is the thing that the video camera is sitting on at the moment. But I thought, you know what, I want a rock steady carbon fibre light tripod, so I bought a Gitzo Mountaineer not long before I started vlogging. And why did I buy a Gitzo? Well, I did what you guys do. I went on the internet and I read the reviews, and I read on forums which ones were the best to get, and everybody said Gitzo is bomb-proof, so buy it. So I did. Now, is it bomb-proof? Yes, it is bomb-proof in respect that it's a carbon fibre tripod. We've got no delineation of the carbon fibres except for one leg, where it has delineated slightly, but it has been used massively. But there are two things I don't like about this. Well, there's three or four actually, but we'll go through the two main ones. Number one, it is a twist lock system. Yeah, basically all that means is you untwist a leg, you drop it out, and you twist it again. And you may think, well, that's great, easy, but it's not in the field, because what you end up doing is you end up sitting there, you end up untwisting a leg, you twist it, you untwist another leg, get it, because that's the other thing we'll talk about, and you twist it, yeah, and you untwist the other leg, and you twist it, but then you put it on the ground, and basically what happens is a leg will start to creep up, I can't get it to do it now, like this, whilst your camera is on the tripod, because you don't know whether or not you've locked it off properly. Now, people who are organised, like lots of you will be, will most probably do it properly, and so you'll put the leg out, you'll twist it up so it's really tight, and then you'll do the same on the other side. But it is a pain. With Manfrotto, they've got a click lock system. Now, click lock system has its negatives. If you get your hand involved in it, you can click it and it'll click the end of your finger, and it might hurt a little bit, but at least you know it's home and it's dry. Now, other thing is, inside the twist lock system is basically a chamfer that as you twist it, it tightens up against the leg, and that actually locks it off. But what happens is you get grit in everything inside, and when you get the grit inside, it stops working, or if it doesn't start working, it starts to scratch the legs, and I don't like that either. But the big thing is build quality. This is a Gitzo, yeah, I had it 3-4 months, and this is one of the twist lock systems, and the rubber mounting off the top came off. Now, if you're buying a tripod at 100 quid, then, and that happens, and you think, you know what, it's only 100 quid, this is over £400, and that just should not happen. And sitting in the field with it and using it and seeing how it works with that twist lock system, I'll be honest, I wish I'd never bought it. That's a pretty big claim to make, but Don't get me wrong, it's a great tripod, but I think there are better things on the market for a lot less money. So we'll put that down. And we'll talk about the real weak link, which was this ball head. Now, to be fair, I was very lucky. I got the ball head and I got the legs on a really good deal. And the deal, I think, was so good because this ball head is worse than useless. And the ball head is a GH, I need my glasses, which are behind here. Hang on. Don't get old. GH2780QD. Now, it's very, very heavy. And the reason when I bought the combo, I thought that they had sold this in combination with that was because this was so heavy, because it's almost as heavy as the tripod. It's about a kilogram and a half. But the reason I think they sold it is because people complain, because if you can see me turning this now, can you see how stiff that is? And then it's stiff and then it gives. Yeah, it's just awful. And the thing is that this system is a one lock system. So this system actually, and it won't even move now, and you can tell why I've got rid of it, is, no, I can't even get it to move. See if I've done something wrong. Yeah, you can see how clunky and hard that is to move. Now, the thing is that this should be a system that glides. Look at this, glides. And they were selling these for almost £400 when they were new. And it's just awful. So, first thing I did, because I'm not going to get rid of the legs because they cost me a fortune. So, the first thing I did was get rid of this. Because I'm not going to get... So, the first thing I did was get rid of this because I'm not going to get rid of the legs because they cost me a fortune. And now I'm going to have to let the dog in. Can you hear him? That's not him, that's her. Come on! So there she is, and she loves her dad, so she's going to be now settled down there because she's had a week outside, not in here, and we're going to carry on talking about camera equipment. So I got rid of this, as I've just said. Sit down, Bill. And I bought this, which is from Benro. I am not sponsored by Benro. I wish I was, because I think the stuff is awesome. But it's the Benro B3, and I don't recall how much I paid for it. I think it was about £130, which for a ball head is absolutely brilliant. And it has a magnitude of different movements on it. It's got a pan movement on it, and it's got a tilt, and it's got a yaw, and it's got a click for your plate that sits underneath, and it's Arco compatible. And for the money, if you are going to buy something, you buy, in my opinion, the Benro, because it's absolutely brilliant. Now, when you put a Benro or any ball head on top of your tripod, one of the problems that you've got is when you're doing pano shots, because it's very, very difficult. It's not impossible, but it's very, very difficult to get everything dead level. So when you pan from left to right, you get an awfully straight shot. So again, Benro came to the rescue, and they do a self-leveling. Well, and I always call them self-leveling, they're not, but it's a leveling system for the tripod. So no matter what angle your tripod is at, so what we're talking about here is if your tripod's like that, you can put this on the top, and then basically what you do is you unlock it, and on the top here it's got a spirit level, and all you do is you just level the spirit level on the top. Doesn't matter where your tripod is, so your tripod can sit like this, but that's level. And then as long as you make sure your ball head is level with the camera on the top of this, making sure the ball head's right, if you go from left to right, your shots will be perfectly level. And it was, again, not cheap, 120 quid, but the combination of the two has made me realise that possibly this Gitzo legs, or these Gitzo legs, are going to disappear on eBay, and I'm going to get a Benro set of legs, because this has been bomb-proof. This has been through the Loch Lomond shoot, and it's been through Scotland, and it's still working absolutely perfectly, as is this. This is a clunky piece of something that Mini might do. So you've got lots of options. You can go for Chinese tripods. You can go for Gitzo if that's what you want. You can go for Manfrotto, which I think is excellent. And you can go for Benro if I was going to go for any of them. And as I say, I'm not sponsored by Benro. I'd go Benro. So, sorry Gitzo, but I've tried it, I've used it, I don't like it. Benro, thumbs up, you're doing an absolutely great job. So, what we're going to talk about next, we're going to talk about cameras. Okay, I'm going to do a video in the future about the camera that I used to use. The camera I used to use was, a while ago I must admit, but was a 4/3 camera, and it was the E500, and it's an absolutely great camera. I don't know what megapixel it is, I think it's about 12 megapixel. I took some absolutely awesome and stunning shots with that. And then I moved to Sony, and it was a mirrorless camera because I was doing lots and lots of wild camping, and I was hiking a lot, and I wanted something light. And it was a good camera, but it was a little bit fiddly for me. Then when I got a little bit older, I went to Nikon and went through the 700 or 7000 range, and then decided, you know what, I'm getting old. I'll be dead soon. I'm going to leave all the money to the kids, so I'm going to buy a D800E. And the D800E is there, and this is the D850, which replaced it. And you're going to say, well, why did you replace the D800E for the D850? Isn't that just, you know, going for the best camera that you can possibly get? No, there was one reason for it, and the reason for it, you keep watching me putting these on. Yeah, and when I put these on is because I can see you in the camera perfectly, but I can't see the back of the screen. And the back of the screen is important, particularly when talking to you guys, but also important for making sure your focus is sharp and this, that, and the other. Now, the D800E has notoriously been known for the fact that the LCD display on the back of the camera was poor. The D850 has a better back LCD. Now it does do lots of nice little things, like if I can pull it out, it'll do that. But it doesn't really matter for me, to be honest. It does help when you get low down shots. And it's got nice little things like focus stacking and stuff like that, but I very rarely use focus stacking. Excuse me. But the reproduction on the screen on the back is the only reason that I've got that. So when you see me on video with the D850, that's the only reason I bought it, and I'm being honest with you, I'm always honest. The D800E, if you want a camera that's going to shoot just like this, these are on sale for silly prices, 700-800 quid, and it's got to be, is my favourite camera ever. Better than this. Not because it's better than this, because I love that camera, because I've had it for years. But this camera, if your eyesight's going and you use live view, then that's the reason to use it. So I'm just giving you an honest opinion as to what works and what doesn't work, and what you should buy and what you shouldn't buy is not my decision, it's yours. But I will say that we have a D800 or D850 here. We have a D800 sat behind me, and we have an E500 here. Is there a huge difference between this one and that one? In functionality, yes. Yeah, this one doesn't have an LCD screen. It's difficult to actually compose the shots, but not impossible, because all you've got to do is look through the viewfinder at the back and compose the shots. But from a quality point of view, between this one and this one, there is not much to choose between them. Contentious, I know, but what I mean is if you're putting them on your computer or you're going to print them in a size A4, give me a second, and an A4 is comparatively tiny, then you are not going to notice much difference between this 12-year-old camera and this full-frame camera. Okay. Now, if you are going to print to A3 size, which is here at the back, you are not going to notice much difference. If you are lucky enough to be somebody like Tom Heaton, where you lucky enough, or skilled enough I should say, to get something that's massive on the side of an airport building or an airport terminal, then you may start to notice some diffraction. But the thing is when that image is blown up to that size, if you stand in front of it like that, maybe going blur now, get really close to the image, then it's going to look blurred anyway. It's meant to be looked at further back, and even with that E500 camera you'll get some good images. So don't be put off by thinking that I need a Gitzo tripod or I need a D800, because you don't. All you need is your eyes, the light, and some luck.